my level of stress was the cause why I was losing so many babies. And I thought, how many people don't have the time or the resources and are doing long-term damage just because of the environment that they live in?
If you didn't go through that, you also wouldn't be here to be able to create the value that you're creating for everyone. So
that is
everything
true.
happens for a reason as well.
This is Karina Valencia, founder of Lonvia, and she's here to prove that your environment shapes your sleep, stress, and performance, starting with the space you live in.
I never thought of myself as a founder. Never. It's glorified, and in the back end, it's really hard. It's painful. Lonvia was born of the passion of, I want to change this at a scale. I want to change physical spaces at a scale where hundreds, if not thousands of people can have a better life by conditioning their environment to work towards their biology. I think I actually cried when we got our first client. Because I just couldn't believe that we finally found people who truly appreciated all those months and months and months of building. When you get your first client and you feel somebody loves this as much as I love it and is willing to appreciate it and put their effort in working with you.
Let's say, I'm someone who does not have any means. What can I do today to help me if I don't have access to all these things?
Very simple things, which is things that I've done and how I got started. Number one.
Karina, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, before we get started, for people who do not know you, what do you do and how long you've been doing it for?
Oof, what do I do? I'm a consultant, so I build Lonvia, which is a consultancy for creating longevity spaces, physical spaces. How long have I been doing it for? About a couple of years now.
Oh, and who does it serve?
Mostly real estate developers and hospitality spaces.
Okay, fine. Also, before we get started, expectation versus reality. Social media, your expectation is always here and reality is here. I've been following you on social media, and now this is the first time I meet you in person. Expectation versus reality for me is the other way around.
Thank you.
It's like, you should be doing more on social media, by the way, because your personality in person is completely different from what I know on social media.
I'm a very private person. I kind of don't use social media at all. I don't even have Instagram or TikTok.
Well, I don't either, but I think LinkedIn, especially as a builder, because you're building, you should be putting yourself out there. You're just amazing. And this is a very...
Thank you.
I already know it's going to be a very exciting conversation.
I need to ask you for a few tips because I definitely don't have... where do you have the bandwidth?
Well, that's a really good question. Tips also, I'm not too sure if I'm the right person. I think for me, the only tip I can give you is consistency. Put yourself out there for a long period of time and something will happen. Like building a business as well, right?
It is true. In business, that's all that matters. Consistency, all the time.
So obviously the theme is immigrants building companies. You're an immigrant in the UK.
I am.
So walk me through that journey of your
building?
immigration. I mean, starting from immigration, you're in the UK. Why are you in the UK? Why did you choose the UK?
That's a long story, but I've been in the UK, actually, this February is going to be 11 years.
Wow.
I know, right?
That's a
When
lifetime.
did that happen?
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know, but the UK is the 9th country I lived in. So
Wow.
it's been a long journey.
Okay.
It's been a great journey, but it's been a long journey. And the UK was never by accident. It was always the city that, it was the target of the end of the tunnel, of if you see yourself settling in any city in the world that can combine the talent, the network, the size, the speed, but also the quality of life that I was looking for, the only city that I could think of it was London. So that was the reason why I ended up here. And it has met and exceeded all my expectations, particularly in people. People are incredible. The diversity is just, you can't find it anywhere else. Why the UK was mainly that. Why, I don't know why. I've always been able to find something incredibly interesting to do here. But for many years, I couldn't build. I have been wanting to build for years, but I couldn't because I was on a visa. And if you know the UK system, you reset the clock for getting your passport if you change visa. So I had to stay on the visa. So that was like, well, kind of my dad has this great phrase that is no option, no problem. So I was in a no option, no problem state for 8 years because, you stay on the visa until you get your passport. So I had to wait on building for a long time.
Wow.
But at the same time, it was the time of iteration of, am I more interested in health? Am I more interested in tech? Am I more interested in people? What do you want to build? Most importantly, what problem do you want to solve? And I mean, I think I have done about 120, 140 PMLs
Oh my God.
about problems that I find, are they solvable and are they viable? And many of them die on the financial side. Many of them pass the financial side, but then died as we deep into the problem because the problem either is not complex enough or we don't necessarily find a market for it. So it has been a good iteration of once you have the freedom of the passport, then what do you do? And I think a lot of us are in that stage of like, then what? Do you want to continue working for a company or do you want to build something with the wonderful people that you have experience with in the UK? And I chose the latter.
How was the feeling? How was the feeling for you when you finally got that?
Scary. I mean, putting yourself out there in something that you truly believe, but you have no idea if other people will appreciate it as much as you do, it's pretty scary. I think I actually cried when we got our first client.
Oh.
I think I actually did, if I remember correctly, because I just couldn't believe that we finally found people who truly appreciated all those months and months and months of building where you have no idea what is going to be the perception. So that was actually really beautiful when you get your first client and you feel somebody loves this as much as I love it and is willing to appreciate it and put their effort on working with you. So that was great. But what has been, sorry, I forgot the question now.
No, how did it feel when you
How
actually...
did it feel?
Yes.
It feels scary. It feels fulfilling. It feels sometimes faster than you could possibly think. Sometimes slow because you're waiting for other people to give you feedback. Most of the time, incredibly rewarding of building something that you believe in.
And then the combination of how did you feel when you actually... So you've become British now. You've got...
Yes.
Okay, so how is that feeling combined?
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. I mean, I also saw a post that you also became British. I know.
Yeah,
high five. Well done. Well done. And I mean, how do you feel for you?
Oh my God, crazy.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was just... Yeah, and for me, it was slightly different as well because I don't know if you know my story, but I grew up in Dubai, but I'm ethnically Indian.
Yes.
And so I had, and I don't know if you know, in the Middle East, like there's no nationalization. Like you could be living there all your life, but you can never become a national.
I know.
And I had an Indian passport, but whenever I went back to India, which I hardly did, I never felt Indian because I was like I felt alien. And then living in Dubai, I was never Emirati. So I'm like, shit, like where am I really from? So I really had this identity crisis, and it's so strange for me. This is the first time I'm actually living in my own country and I don't have to renew a visa. Like it's just so crazy. Like I'm still getting a grip of it. Like it's still a pinch me moment. Like I'm still realizing the dream. I feel like I'm living a dream. But then also I think finally I feel like the world is my oyster. Like I can really do anything I want. It's so liberating. It's also a very powerful feeling. I don't know how to explain it.
I completely agree with you. Completely. It feels amazing.
Yeah.
That was the best email I ever gotten.
I know. Wow, it's just, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, you know, few years ago, like every single time I used to walk outside of school in the UK, London in particular, I used to feel like, oh shit, like I wish I was born here. I wish I was raised here. You know, maybe this would be my school. And because I truly love London, like as much as you do, you know. And but then I also thought about it from a different perspective. I'm like, maybe it's actually good that I was not born here. That, you know, like I have a different lens around the city and maybe a different level of appreciation, you know, because I didn't have this, and now I get to experience it for the first time. So yeah, I'm ever so grateful that I'm here. Really.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I think we don't take it for granted.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. And I think it's just one of those, you know, the novelty wears off, especially if you're within, I mean, for example, living in Dubai, I never understood what's the real fuss about sunlight. Like everyone was like, oh my God, so much sun. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't get it. Now I get it because now I live in the UK. So I think it's one of those, you know.
I'll ask you again in March. And
Yeah.
you'll be like, I need
it's too much sun. Yeah. So I think it's one of those. Like, I mean, if you're born into something, perhaps you don't. And again, I'm not, you know, everybody's different, but this is just my experience. You don't. I mean, maybe you have different value sets, you know. But yeah, I'm just. Yeah, it's amazing. And I think the one thing that you also said about people, I think really what makes any city great really is its people.
Totally.
I mean, Londoners are just bloody awesome.
It's extraordinary.
It's not just the diversity, but it's also the inclusion, like how inclusive people are. Even when this was another thing when I first came, it's like it's so crazy, like so much inclusion. It's so much acceptance. It's unbelievable.
So I was in a quick trip to San Francisco this Thursday, a couple of days ago, and people asked me where I'm from. And I was like, wow, that's a question I haven't gotten in years. Because in London, nobody cares.
Yeah, this is so true. Oh my God, this is so true.
Nobody cares.
It's so true.
They only care about the way you
It's so
think. They
true.
don't care at all about where you were born. And then I always reply with the same of, where do you think I'm from? And I was like, honestly, I can't believe somebody asked me that question because I haven't gotten that question in years, probably in a decade. So it's one of the beauties of living here is that, honestly, because we are all foreigners, then nobody cares.
It's
All they
so
care
true.
about is like, what are you interested on?
Correct.
Which is a question that I get very often.
Correct.
What are you building? What are you interested? Where do you work? But then never I get like, where are you from? So it was actually a very good reminder of like, I forgot that this actually was a question.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. I love the city. I think we can have a separate episode only talking about London and the UK and the people in this country.
I'm obsessed.
But that'll be a different episode. Coming back to your business.
Yes.
So, okay. So was it something that you always wanted to do? Not this business in particular, but business in general. Something like have you done anything before this? I mean, where is the inspiration, aspiration coming from?
I never thought of myself as a founder. Never.
Interesting.
I think being a founder is one of the hardest things. It's glorified, and in the back end is really hard. It's painful. So I never really thought about being a founder myself. I always thought I admire, respect them, and I would love to support them. I'm an operator. I love getting things done. I call it summiting, and I love summiting. But when I got pregnant and I resigned my previous job because pregnancy was a long story, but it was quite difficult. So I resigned in order to focus on the pregnancy. And then we had Leo, my son. And then at some point, about a few months after we have Leo, I felt this energy of like, I want to go back. I love working and I really want to go back. I've been doing it for 18 years. And I suddenly started like having this conversation with my husband, feeling like I'm ready. I feel I really, really want to go back. And then I started looking around, talking with other founders, talking with recruiters, seeing like, okay, I'm ready to go back. But I found myself in this lens of like, but you're a mother. Don't you want more flexibility? But you're a mother. I guess you need a different type of job now that I'm assuming you have things at home. And I honestly, Sam, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
wow.
Why are people deciding for me what I want? I'm sure they don't ask my husband these questions.
Yeah.
They're not asking my husband to change their job because now they're a father. I was like, why are you asking me for that? What's the problem? So I found this and I had multiple conversations that went in this direction. And then I thought, you know what? If they don't believe my energy and the output that I can produce, then I'm going to create my own company where I can just do it and produce the output without being questioned about my personal life. So I did it. That's why I did it.
In true
That's brutally
entrepreneurship
honest.
spirit, challenging the status quo, I think that deserves another high five. So why this business in particular?
I think it was a combination of frustration and love for healthspan. I always knew that I wanted to work in something that increases your health span, which is the amount of years in good health. I don't believe in living 100 or 120 years if you are having 30 or 40 years of a slow death.
Fair point.
I want to live to my fullest. And if I look at my parents are in the late 70s. They look honestly like 45.
Wow.
They are ultra mobile. They go to the gym every day. They do their runs. They do their workouts. And they truly feel alive. And that's how I want to be. So looking at when we were building our home here in London, it was so hard to find even like what is the right lining? How can I include smart things in my home that help me have better circadian rhythm? How can I do a better air quality and humidifiers or the winter is long, the air gets super dry. I was like, how can I reintegrate minerals into the water if I'm filtering the water? All of these questions start coming in, and finding answers were really, really difficult. And then from my own pregnancy experience, which was really hard for us to get pregnant, we couldn't find answers of what was causing the difficulties of us getting pregnant. The typical GP doctor tells you everything is fine, you should be okay. You're not young anymore, but you're still fine. And I was like, thank you for telling me that. Yes, I know that I'm at the end, but thank you for reminding me. Very kind of you. So we had this experience. So then I went very deep with actual separate private doctors and scientists, measuring my telomeres, measuring my cortisol levels, measuring my insulin resistance, things that are not necessarily part of the regular system, but that were actually the cause. My level of stress was the cause why I was losing so many babies. But I would have never found out that on the normal stress. So I had to modify my whole environment around me to be able to reduce this level of stress that I was living in every day, so that I was able to create a baby.
Wow.
And I thought, how many people don't have the time or the resources and are doing long-term damage just because of the environment that they live in, and they have no idea how to distress that environment on a biological level. And that's how the idea of Lombia came up. Like, if I could share with the world all the importance of your environment on the way that it influences your body, you can actually change your body and start recovering. But that takes years or decades of damage. Rest assured, it takes decades to recover.
Of course.
There's no biohacking here.
Yeah.
You can't change the basics and the fundamentals. So that's how Lombia was born. Lombia was born of the passion of, I want to change this at a scale. I want to change physical spaces at a scale where hundreds, if not thousands of people can have a better life by conditioning their environment to work towards their biology.
This is really interesting and obviously on point. I don't think any human being, especially in this day and age, technology, social media, AI now, I mean, people are more stressed than ever before. I mean, humankind is just going through a different level of stress. I don't know if you know, but just recently, I mean, early this year, I had an angina attack, and I've got 2 stents.
Oh, God.
And off the back of, and every single time when I was in a procedure, from nurses to doctors to cardiologists, everybody's like, the first statement was, oh my God, you're so young and you're so fit. I'm like, yeah, and I've been thinking, shit, like I've been working out and eating healthy-ish since the past 20 years. So it's like, what the hell, why me? But the underlying problem is stress. It's like, so stress is the biggest killer, like sadly, and most of our physical ailments are directly correlated to stress.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is really interesting, the topic, and I'm looking at ways every single day, like, how do I bloody de-stress,
Yes.
And you're so right, your environment is the maximum space where your home, that environment per se, is the maximum time you stay, you live in, and if that space is not catered to your mental capacity, stress levels, whatever, I mean, that is just a negative correlation of the back of it.
Yeah.
So walk me through that a little bit. Like, how does that work? I mean, can people just come to you and you consult them, or is it like the entire process?
So most of our clients are real estate developers.
Okay.
They have towers of buildings or multiple towers where they want to do a combination of commercial or residential real estate. And some of them want to focus 2 or 3 floors into what it will be a standalone longevity hub. Some others want to do a whole tower of residential smart buildings. Either of them, we work with both of them. They're very different, the way we work. If you're thinking about a commercial space or a standalone longevity hub, you're thinking mostly about implementation of tech. You will probably put in there a combination of contrast therapy, cellular regeneration technology. You can do IHH training, many different types of training for your lungs, training for your senses, decompressing for your mind, training for your body. So this is all tech, and it will be mostly, my previous life was all in tech. So it's mostly the implementation of how that tech goes with the doctor's offering, like what do you want to offer in the menu. if you're thinking about a tower building, this comes from, you don't transform the tower, you build it in a different way. And this is why working with real estate developers that are building is significantly more productive than taking over a space and try to work backwards in. Because everything that we implement is built from the foundation. So even the water systems that we put, the air filtration, the circadian lining smart system, the technology to demineralize the water that you're going to be using for brushing your teeth, or remineralizing it for the one that you're going to be drinking, all of that is going to be inside the building. So you will never see it. You will just feel great.
Wow.
And when you wake up in the morning, you'll probably wake up with natural light that is going to be coming directly from it. In winter, we of course put a circadian light system that feels like natural light. But of course in London, you don't have that until like 10 a.m. But it will feel like natural light, and you will be brushing your teeth, feeling like you're fully awake. And simply every single element that you will be touching will be actually designed, or by design, with care for you. So it's a different, your sleep quality, if you're not scoring on your mid-90s every day, we're probably failing at our job.
Wow.
It is really, it makes a massive difference, the environment that you build. Most of them, if not almost, I think almost every space that we have designed has integrated the sleeping patterns, the nutrition patterns, and then where you work out, movement, so that you can have the three elements in one space. And then you will go downstairs, usually our towers, so you will go downstairs to the longevity hub and then have treatments there if you wish to have them. But your home is your sanctuary, and 80% of the time that you will spend indoors is going to be at home. There's nothing, I always say, there's nothing more unhealthy than an office with no windows and white light on top.
Yeah.
It's basically a rat on a lap.
Yeah.
So we avoid as much as possible any space that resembles nearly those.
Wow. That's so
It's
interesting.
very beautiful.
That's so interesting. I mean, I'm already, I will ask you, a few spaces if you can name them. But before that, from a commercial aspect, are developers actually seeing because, at the end of the day, it needs to make sense bottom line, right? So are they, because obviously there's now an additional cost, and now with the cost of living and, the budget cuts and so on, are developers actually viewing this as a somehow good return on investment if they're going in this route, or has it been a challenge convincing developers to move in this direction?
It's a fantastic question. And I can tell you if they keep the asset, there are different type of developers. There are the developers that build to sell or pre-sell, and there are the developers to build and keep the asset. The ones that want to pre-sell, it's hard for them to justify the 20 to 30% appreciation of price per square meter, because they pre-sell even before the building is done. The ones that keep would never go in any other direction. They work with us, and they work with us in their next and the next and the next and the next building. So as long as they're keeping the asset, the price per square meter or price per square foot is proven to appreciate 20 to 30% ongoingly.
Wow.
So that's where the difference comes. They're not every real estate developer is the same.
Of course, yeah, because I mean, I don't know your opinion on this. It'll be nice to hear your take. But I think well-being, longevity. See, the problem is it's very difficult to articulate the direct correlation on your health span and so on, and so measurement becomes a problem. And when measurement is a problem, then it's like, okay, how do I justify the return on investment? And I mean, I can tell you, we're in the mental health space. So we started in the mental health space, now in HR. And mental health space, that was always the biggest problem. Yeah, we know it's important, but okay, how can you show me return on investment? Okay, but we cannot show you return on investment. It's not like you've broken your arm, there's a fracture, now there's a cast, and the cast is out and the bone is fixed. So it's kind of difficult to articulate. So when you talk about mental health, well-being, I feel there's a lot more talk than actual action. And that there's a gap, there's a big gap. Everybody wants to talk the talk, but nobody really puts money where their mouth is. I think that is a big problem. And that's why I'm thinking commercially, how does that fit? But if you're talking about also the developers who are keeping the asset, so ultimately somebody needs to pay for it. So do end users or tenants now of that asset appreciate the importance of that and don't mind paying a premium? So I'm just trying to think, like, what sort of clientele is now getting into these type of spaces?
100%. You're spot on. So it's a very small part of the population who are already thinking about their physical spaces to this level. It is a luxury. And I always say, if you have the capacity to think about your physical space and invest in your physical space beyond a roof, a kitchen, and a bedroom, you are in a completely, you're at the top of the Maslow pyramid.
Yeah.
And you're worrying about things that you should be very thankful and grateful that you can worry about. Are they clients for this? Thousands. Particularly people who are thinking that they have built a foundation of the 5 pillars of health, which is where every conversation starts: sleep, nutrition, mental clarity, physical movement, and social. So what do the people that have already optimized, or let's say have very solid foundation about these three, are starting to think no longer about basics, but about optimization? When you have optimization, you start thinking about performance. When you have performance, you think about the tip of the pyramid. This can go very far into like gene therapy or even like fake wombs for certain women.
Oh, wow.
Right? It can go as far as you want to take it. But unless you have the foundation, and I insist on this very much with my clients, there's no point of me building the outstanding longevity hub where people can go and have a slow regeneration bed that is going to cost $200,000 to put it in, if they are going and eating fast food. What is the point? Or if they want to drink the whole weekend and then go for IVs on Sunday evening because they have to perform on Monday. So honestly, a lot of it goes back to the basics of, yes, if you have very strong 5 foundations, you're getting a fantastic quality of sleep. And for that, we have a lot of technology that can really help. But you're getting fantastic quality of sleep. You're eating very nutritious food. You're exercising at least 4 or 5 times a week and having your regular movement, 10, if not 20,000 steps a day. And you're having downtime to decompress or lower your stress levels, which you can talk about that as well. And then, of course, you're having these social connections, which, by the way, loneliness kills more people than you might imagine. But you're having those social connections. Then we can think about performance. Then we can think about optimization. Then we can think about going all the way to the top and even cleaning your blood, removing heavy metals, doing plasma, etc. But it's a ladder. You cannot start with that and have the foundation broken. And the people that are very health conscious and have already invested a lot of their time and actions into having a very close foundation are the people that are interested in saying, what's next? Let's start building on what's next. And their environment and the place where they work or where they live, it is a high influence of what is next. You cannot optimize your life unless you're actually conditioning your environment to optimize your life.
100%.
Otherwise, I mean, you're still breathing the same air.
Yeah, good point. Exactly.
So that is where it comes from. And that's where the clients, being different, the clients are. We used to do villas, individual villas, and then we moved to larger spaces because in the villa, we influence one family. And whilst it's a gorgeous spaces, it is much more beautiful to influence hundreds of people rather than one family of 4.
Yeah, to make real impact, 100%.
Absolutely. And the more these technologies, honestly, at this point, a little bit inaccessible, is quite expensive to implement, but it's very different if you implement one for a family than if you can share the cost among a tower of people that care about it as well. Because then more people can have access to it. And the more people that have access to it, the more the technology that demand becomes more accessible for other people as well. And that was that is the core purpose of Lombia. How can we within certain ways, democratize certain technology
Correct.
to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah, I mean, one to many, obviously, each and every individual is able to share that cost in a fractional, perhaps, way.
Totally.
So you said the is there clientele? Obviously, it's like your top of the pyramid per se. But do you also feel that this market is also growing?
100%.
Many more, because obviously, I mean, many more people are that much more health conscious today than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you know. I mean, I wear a Whoop, a lot of people do that, a lot of people want to eat healthy, people are going away from junk food and so on. But if you can democratize it through, you know, okay, a lot of health conscious is one thing and then affordability is another, right? So if you can marry the two, then you create magic.
Yes.
So is that the reason you guys are going?
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely happening. The technology is becoming more and more accessible and more accurate. Because in this market, you want individualism, you want accuracy. People are in for their individual biomarkers, the individual scores, their individual path. If you're feeling better and I'm not benefiting. You might be, but I'm not. So I want to make sure that every single person in one way or another is feeling that one of the pillars is actually getting into optimization or performance. And that is where we go very, very deep into every single one of our spaces, making sure that we know exactly the people that are going to be living there so we can optimize for them. And that's where the magic happens.
Got it. So are you guys focused only in London, UK, or are you guys international?
Very international.
Okay.
The idea originally was, we're going to do this in London. This is going to be great. Reality is that our clients came from everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Middle East is booming.
I was going to say Middle East, yeah.
Middle East is absolutely booming. Asia is booming. We have various parts of Europe as well. It's so unpredictable what they are going to come from, but the core is always the same. It's the real estate developer usually has already done the leap.
Okay, so now they're trying to find you.
Yes.
That's an amazing place to be in as well.
They
yeah.
have done
So you're
the
not
leap.
trying to educate the market. The
No.
market is educated.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. 100%. That's the key. If we go and try to educate the market,
No.
this will take a decade.
Yeah.
Reality is every single developer that we're working with, they have done the leap. They know about the technology. We don't even have to explain what that technology is. We literally go and say, who do you want to sell it to? Like, who are the people that are going to be residents or office workers in your place? And from that, then the magic starts forming. The picture of what type of optimization we want to do starts forming. The options are hundreds. People think, oh, it's a chamber. No. That is basic. Like, the options are really, really vast. It's how do you do the curation where the magic happens with the space that you have and what the law allows in the country where you're working on.
Okay. So there are laws around
Of
this.
course,
Okay.
absolutely. You have to differentiate between non-medical grade and medical grade, and each one,
Right.
almost every technology has a degree. So you have to make sure that you know exactly where the degree is, and that you never surpass the medical grade unless they want to do a fully blown longevity hub, which we have done with actual doctors or nurses working on the space. But if it's a gym in a building, it has to be unmanaged.
Got it. Got it.
So all those options are available.
So one of our early investors in Plum, she actually owns a clinic in Dubai.
Amazing.
And she actually owns, and she's like, not pivoted, but expanded into a longevity hub.
Amazing.
In fact, she will be in London, I think in February. There's an event, something around longevity, I think. So what would be the difference between, because I don't know exactly what she does, but maybe you do, like a longevity hub versus your model where you're going into a developer development and embedding that within the entire building?
Very different. Think that a longevity hub, either it can be a day clinic or it can be more like a Lanzerhof, where you're going to spend a week, 2 or 3. In there, you're going to go because you want to work in something. Either you're going through burnout,
Okay.
or you want to change your neurology and go through a detox, or you have been feeling a little bit of palpitations on your heart and you know you have to distress, and you go there on a mission. And after a week or 2 or 3, you complete the mission. What we build is where you live 90% of the time.
Got it.
You're every single day.
Got it.
This is not a day clinic. This is a life. So we modify your entire home. We modify your office. We modify your gym, where you spend every day your daily routine. Biohacking, or these trends that are very popular today, they tend, not always, but they tend to be misused, that you can fix the problem. What reality is, the reason why you have a problem is because you probably broke a part of the fundamentals. We don't fix the problem. We make you notice every single one of the fundamentals so that you have them rock solid, and then you start optimizing them. I literally see 5 bars, and in my head is like, how are the bars growing?
Yeah.
We're not fixing, we are fundamentally change the way that you live every day.
I love that. You can only improve what you can measure.
Totally.
So if you can give them that visibility, that brings an awareness, and with that awareness, okay, I can fix this, I can fix this, I can fix this.
My favorite client, actually, he's my favorite because, don't tell the others,
Yeah.
but the reason why he's my favorite is because he had a scare, he had a bad condition, and then he became obsessed, similarly to me, of like, I'm gonna make life inside my body, and I want to do everything in my power to fix my body so that my body can create life. He changed his life in saying, I know that I haven't been the healthiest. I'm going to completely redesign the way I'm living so that I can live for the next 50 years. And he did it. He modified his house, his nutrition, his lifestyles, his movement, every single aspect. And he simply said, 3 months after I started, I could never imagine going back again.
Wow.
And I feel that aha moment is the reason why he's building towers now of like a smart living, because he wants other people to have that aha moments of saying, once you have felt how good look like, you never go back to your fast food, bad sleep, short night. You just can't, you love yourself too much and how you're feeling. And the energy flows. It's incredible waking up in the morning and feeling like, you're ready for the day and you can't wait to get started.
Oh, definitely. I mean, sleep, I mean, regardless of, if you have this environment catered to you, I mean, even if you don't, you just have one bad night of sleep, you know how that impacts your entire day, your mental clarity, your energy levels, everything is just disrupted. And when you do have a good night's sleep, you just feel like a superhuman. Like, I mean, it just changes everything.
Absolutely.
Is there a world where you're also moving into the longevity hub space? Because you kind of touched on this, but if somebody comes to you and says, listen, I'm not a developer, but I would like to open like a longevity hub or whatever. So, I mean, you've done it also?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
So you have that stream as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the longevity hubs or the day clinics are incredible, particularly if you have the landscape to shape them, and you can shape the landscape on it and offer something that is not necessarily, we say nobody wants to do another spa. Nobody wants to do another of something that exists. But if you have a unique space where you can shape the landscape and make a very unique experience for somebody who is right now going through something that want to change or fix or reflect on, and you can offer them that space to do it, that is iconic, it will fly. It will become something where people actually will look for to spend a week or 2 or 3. It's just different. It's a different feeling that you would do if you want to go to a longevity hub.
I think it's the perfect timing we're having this chat, because I feel
You need to go to a
I
longevity
feel like
hub?
I'm also going through a burnout, and I'm like, oh my God, the first thing I'm going to do is ask ChatGPT, which different places I could go. I mean, this is just perfect
Just
timing.
ask me, I will recommend.
Or actually, yes, I'm going to ask you for recommendation after the pod.
I can tell you some of the most incredible longevity hubs.
Brilliant.
That I cannot take credit for, but they have done incredibly well also.
Good. I'm gonna take you up on that offer. Coming back to your best client.
Yes.
It's great that he feels this way, and he's also made it, and it's amazing, we build great businesses, especially when it comes from only when it comes from a place of your own pain.
Yes.
you've had a pain and you've solved for that pain, and now you want to solve for that pain for other people. So it's great that he's doing, but I'm also thinking, again, coming back to, I believe he was also maybe in a very good place where he had the means and everything else to actually elevate, come out of that headspace and change his life around, and now, develop properties for other people. Let's say, I'm someone who does not have any means. What can I do today just within, a lot of people, cost of living crisis, a lot of things are happening today, when everybody's stressed, like we said. What can I do today to help me if I don't have access to all these things?
Very simple things, which is things that I've done and how I got started. Number one, monitor the air that you're breathing. You can get on Amazon or online just a carbon monoxide monitor. It will cost you 20 pounds. Make sure that all the time you're in a room that is highly ventilated. The amount of times that we're trying to work in an office with low quality oxygen is insane. Basically, what you're training to your brain is, please perform really, really fast, but I'm not going to give you any oxygen. So do it on asphyxia. And our brains most of the time are dying of thinking, feed me, please. Like,
wow.
I can't think anymore, but it doesn't matter because we are in the zone and we're trying to finish whatever spreadsheet you want to finish. So just get a little monitor for carbon monoxide and make sure that always the rooms where you are properly ventilated. Number two, sleep is a ritual. It's not a need only. It's a ritual that will completely reposition the way that you live through life and live through the day. It would improve your memory. It would improve your cognitive attention. It will actually improve the way that you see and feel life. Your mood, your excitement for life will change. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. No difference between weekends. No difference between Friday and Sunday. That circadian rhythm, when you establish it, it will start becoming to the point. I haven't used an alarm in, I think, about 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
I don't have an alarm.
Wow.
It's just, I don't need it.
That's impressive.
I wake up within 15 minutes different every day.
Wow.
And I just open my eyes and I'm like ready for the day. That sleeping has 3 functional problems. People have problems falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up sleepy. All of them have a different variable, and how you solve for each one is different. However, the number one that will affect the 3 of them is the pattern. Are you falling asleep and waking up at the same time? The second one is how relaxed you are when you are trying to fall asleep. Simple breath work. You can do box. In for 3, hold for 3, let go for 3. As simple as that, so that you can start training your body to always fall asleep at the same time. That's number one. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you go back to the ritual, trying to make yourself to fall asleep again. Don't get out of bed, drink water, walk around. That is not really helping. What you have to do is try as much as possible to keep asleep. And if you're waking up asleep, it's probably because you're not getting enough quality of sleep. So we'll have to go back to the moving the window to earlier sleep, or making sure, looking at your circadian rhythm, if you're measuring with your Whoop, of when do you get that deep sleep happening? When is your REM happening? So that you can optimize for that deep sleep and that REM. Your light sleep is a little bit more flexible during the night, but not those two, which are important. And then your nutrition. If you're a person that constantly eats snacks during the day, you're basically keeping your stressors level high at all times. So making sure that you have, some people have 2, some people 3 meals a day, always at the same time. I know it sounds a little boring, but it helps a ton. If you're waking up in the morning having a high protein breakfast, then you have your lunch, dinner as early as possible, no less than 4 hours before going to bed. I usually do dinner at 5 p.m. We go to bed at 10. That's it. Kitchen is closed at 5:30. We all have dinner. That's it. And the amount of deep sleep that I've had incremented for about 30, 35%. What I used to have. Even if I go out on the night.
Amazing.
Because I always say, live like a build your habits like a scientist, but live like a human, right? Like if we go out for dinner,
Yeah.
we're having friends, you're
Yeah.
hosting a party, you know, that has to move some days.
Yeah.
My deepest sleep, it's less than an hour. If not, we're talking about an hour and a half.
Wow.
It's like, it's immediate effect. You can measure it. You can measure it in the morning how you feel, but you can also measure your scores. So making sure that that window goes up to like 4 or 5 hours before sleeping. Simple things, habits, power of habit. So that nutrition, the sleep, call friends. Have a good laugh. Like if you can't remember the last time that you laugh until you hurt your belly, then you probably need to make a good night out with friends. And just have fun. Make fun of yourself. Be silly. Be like kids. You know, I see my kid and I'm like, my God, I forgot how amazing it is to not care and just enjoy life. And he's amazing at doing it. And it's a fantastic reminder of letting go and just enjoy yourself with people. Because that social connection will keep you more alive than the best salad that you can eat. So laughter, joy, deep connections, a big warm hug with somebody who you really like. That will change a lot. And you don't need any money for that. You just need a big hug. So I think those fundamentals sometimes can be obscured by social media thinking that you can biohack yourself. Reality is that we'll move the 20 or 10% needle at the top. 80% of the work, it's how you manage your life.
Correct. Yeah.
So you don't need money for that. You need habits, good habits.
Consistent habits.
Consistency.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's easy to do that for a sprint, maybe. I mean, and everything that you've said now is super valuable. I promise you, I'm going to take all of them on board.
I call you at 5:30 and see if you have closed the kitchen.
No, I mean, and I can, everything that you said logically makes sense, and I've actually tried a lot of them as well, and I can see the difference when I eat 5 hours before versus I eat 30 minutes, 1 hour before. Like it just disrupts my sleep quality immensely, Like, I mean, it's just one of the things, but everything you said, I love it. Also, I think I'm a big hugger. Like every single time I just hug people, and I think that exchange of energy changes everything. I haven't laughed until my belly hurt in a long time, so maybe I'm gonna take that on board. I've just become too serious. It's business, but yeah, that's gonna happen. But so thank you so much for the tips. It was fantastic. And you're right. I mean, yes, elevating your life. Once you've achieved all that, okay, how can I do more? And if the means allow, then if you then by all means you can. But you also don't have to be fixated in a world that, oh no, if I don't have the money, I can't live a better life. Of course not.
You definitely can.
You 100% you can, and I think all of us deserve to live a great life.
100%.
Life is just so beautiful. I don't think none of us are here only just to survive, but to thrive. And having the fundamentals right is so important for us to thrive because life is beautiful. So having said all that, it's just like I really want to say this again. Your social media should really speak the way you are because you're just bloody brilliant. You've obviously come a long way, achieved a lot. Going back in time before you moved here, while you were traveling so many countries, your younger self, did you ever think you'd be doing what you're doing now and this conversation where you're here today?
Not at all. Not even close.
What would you then like to tell that younger self now?
I'd say don't give up. I think there were a lot of times where I felt, because I moved so much. Like the UK is the 9th country I lived in. And each one of those moves was because when I was 15, I promised myself that I was going to be financially independent and that I was going to have an international career. And I've held true to those for 25 years. But in that stress of holding true to them, I also forgot to enjoy what I was doing. I was doing it because I was financially independent and because I was living in another country, but I was living on a visa, as we know, always on a working visa, and always for a very high, intense performing job, where it was super normal to me working 14, 16 hours a day. On the most intense year, I traveled 220 days in a year.
Wow.
It was intense. All my jobs were very intense. And if I look back, I think, wow, what a fantastic career. What are all the things that you can achieve, all the interesting places, conversations, people that you meet along the way. But I think a lot of the times I thought that this was it. Like it was always going to be like that. And I think it was only until I found a number of doctors and scientists who could give me answers to what the system or the medical system around me was telling me, sorry, you can't have kids. Maybe it's not for you. And at some point I was giving up. I was like, well, maybe I just need to go back to my ultra intense jobs and maybe I cannot have this other life. And I would just go back and say, it's going to be okay. You will be able to. These doctors and scientists, by the way, that were able to find out the details of what was going on with me are the same doctors and scientists that I founded Lumbia with.
Oh, wow.
Because I thought this is the people that more people need to benefit from. You know, they're not stopping at the front page. They're actually reading the entire book and finding answers. So this is, I think that sometimes it's hard to see your 3, 5, 10, 15 years ahead of you. But with the benefit of hindsight, I would have given myself a bigger break and said, don't worry, you're going to be fine. You're going to build something that you love. And you will not always have to work 16 hours a day just to make rich the richer. But I did. And it was fun. I did have fun along the way, but there was a lot of layering a stress over a stress over stress during this time. So that I wish I would have not done so much damage at a cellular level as I did. Now I'm on the slow recovery path. Might take 10, 15 years.
Good. But at least you're on the path.
I'm on the path.
At least you're on the path. And if you didn't go through that, you also wouldn't be here to be able to create the value that you're creating for everyone. So
that is
everything
true.
happens for a reason as well.
That is totally true. I would have not been here. I would have not found this amazing group of doctors who think differently. And I love the way they think. And everything I can share is their knowledge. I'm not a doctor, so I listen to them.
So we went to the past. Now let's come to the future.
Yeah.
What does the future hold?
I have no idea. I have no clue. I mean, I have no clue. Let's see.
If you ask me, that's like the best place to be in. You know, especially as a founder, you know, you're always in this how can I say, like in this stage of openness.
Yes.
You know, I have no clue what the hell is going to happen tomorrow, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, well, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Thank you for having me. I love this.
Thank you so much for sharing the tips, by the way. Like I said, I'm gonna take you up on the tips, but also I'm gonna take you up on the places, longevity places, which hopefully maybe what I'll do is I'll get the places from you. I'm gonna try them out, and if I feel they're really good, I will add them to the comments of this video as well, so people
Sounds
can also
great.
share.
So more people can enjoy them.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming here, and really you should bring out your personality on your socials, because your personality, like I said, expectation versus reality, the expectation is just, you know, not as amazing as the reality. So thank you so much.
I'm very glad it was this way and not the other way.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.